that's wet. Welcome back to Pilar Orchids. Thanks for checking in on this wonderful day. Shout out to you, plant propagator. I'm stealing your scene. You got the chair kicking back in the garden, but it's not sunny and warm. Yeah, the point of today's video is, testing plants, maybe taking an alternative view. Instead of maybe trying to find like the ultimate, streamlined, perfect conditions, maybe a different way to look at it is try to find the limits of what they will tolerate by, torturing them a little bit, let's say. Today we will be outside in the garden. While we walk to where the orchid is, we got this rose we transplanted that's finally coming to bloom. Look how they're transplanted. I got a bunch of, we've got some plants around, trying the monstera out. Yeah, don't worry, this isn't a garden video, but we gotta look at this amazing lily. Oh my gosh, this thing is just fantastic. It has like this pinkish orange that just glows almost at night. It's fantastic. And our roses, also transplanted from the last garden, finally coming back. The hardscape, finally getting some of the hardscape as we dig these rubble stones out of the dirt to make room for more plants. Anyway, this is where we're growing a few of the orchids outside. So here's the plant we want to focus on. I got the studio set up. Yeah. That's what we want to chat about today, stressing your orchids for success. But let's clarify that a little bit. What am I talking about with stressing your plants or torturing your orchids? Well, basically, I mean, I think sometimes it pays to, try the orchids in different environments and all houseplants, really see what they can take. As far as their outer limits. Not all plants are the same, but you can test any plant. If you don't have enough orchids, that you can't test one or two in different places, well, maybe you should buy some more orchids. This is the RLC Chialin Red Sun. RLC Chialin Red Sun. Ooh. So this plant, we had it bloom last year, and I didn't really like the flower on it, I gotta say. It just I don't know, the colors were off, and it's obviously a really fantastic bloom. It's very large and frilly, and the boss loved it, and I liked it too, but something about the colors. Anyway, so this became one of our, test plants for the Cattleya group. Again, this is way over generalizing. You can't take one plant's results and apply it to the rest of even a genera. I mean, however, I think you can learn a lot about how certain plants grow by, again, testing their limits. And so because we didn't really like this plant, or I didn't really like this plant that much, I said, well, I'm going to use it to test this year. Now, this was the first plant that we just took outside permanently. Several of our plants we were hardening off, like seedlings, if you're growing from seeds, vegetables or whatever, there's this hardening off process. And we were doing that for a lot of our orchids. But this one, we just said, hey, let's try to grow it outside, see what happens. We'll leave it out there. And a month ago, or more than that, 6 weeks ago, when we really started putting it outside full time, the temperatures were getting down really low at night. They were getting down to almost 8 degrees Celsius, which I did look up all the temperatures, so I'm out here in the cold suffering for you guys. I looked up all the temperature conversions because while I'm an American and I grew up with Fahrenheit, Celsius is just much easier, right? I mean, it really is to get a feel. You don't need all those degrees. Anyway, so it was getting down to 8 degrees, which is 46 degrees or 47 degrees Celsius. at night. And during our springs here in Germany, this is where we live, in west central Germany, kind of not too far from the border of Netherlands and Belgium. And here our springs are really long and wet typically, and so the falls can be as well. And yeah, the summers, well, they'll get hot. You know, you can get some hot, sunny temperatures. This spring has been quite long and rainy and cold. And this plant has been out here the whole time, just struggling along. We said we'll see what nature will do with it. Now, clearly, it has suffered a bit. You can see that it's not very happy. 3 of the older leaves and pseudobulbs have now basically died off. They're all yellow, and yeah, they're not good at all. However, it has kind of started to grow a new like piece out of, like, right there. There looks like a new growth coming on. It did put on some new roots and some growing root tips. It's been outside at night all through the spring. Often we get nighttime rains, getting down to, again, like our springtime temperatures at night will get down to 8-9 degrees, maybe at most 10, 50 lately. Now lately, actually, the last couple weeks, it's been getting up to about, or you know, it goes down to about 12 or 13 maybe at night. Maybe in the garden here we get some wind protection, so maybe at most like 14. So I've got my little cheat sheet here. It's probably like 14 degrees, like 57 at nighttime temperatures with rain. We had it growing in a pot, and so every morning I would come out and just, like, the pot would be full of water because it's pouring rain at night. And a couple times I forgot to drain it, and so it would sit in water completely submerged for a day or two in, again, like in the 50s, you know, temperature wise. It's not dead yet, but it's definitely on its way out. So what have I learned from this experiment? Well, I think I've learned that that's too cold and wet for Cattleyas, or the general Cattleya family. Now, we have been growing the rest of the Cattleyas out here now that the temperatures have been warming up, and we've been draining them a lot more consistently. Like this plant, literally, now you can see where it's been growing. So now that we've kind of just committed it to a test plant for the last few months, now in order to let the roots dry out more, I've taken it out. I'm starting to take it out of the pot and just leave it. I've chucked it up here now, and so I'm just kind of leaving it here to let it dry out. It's kind of like whatever happens, happens. I'm not too concerned about it, because I feel like I'm learning a lot from this experiment. You know, growing outdoors, we are new growing outdoors. So our last apartment, we had a garden that was detached, and so we did have a garden space, but it was really inconvenient. We didn't really have water access down there, and we had to like go through our building and down and around. And so anyways, this apartment, now we've moved, we have a garden right out of our back door. This is obviously where I'm sitting now. And it's much nicer, so we want to try to grow our plants outside. However, in our last apartment, we had a balcony, which was covered, and I'm finding that was very beneficial. To have a covered balcony, so like the rain, I could control the watering more. Now, they didn't get as much sunlight exposure, but I could control the watering more. Here, when it rains, yes, they get water, but it also just like completely fills the crowns of the plants, and yeah, it's been a learning experience, and they're completely exposed to sunlight, so we've had to really work to find microclimates to grow them in where they're not fully exposed to sunlight. Now the catasetums that are right here, they don't seem to mind so much. They're doing pretty good. We are full on watering these. Even with all the rain, we still water them. I cut my hand here in the garden on a broken pot when I was digging. So anyways, yeah, I need to clean that up. Sorry. So the catasetums are growing out here as well, fully exposed. They get rain in the crowns, and I'm worried about rot, but so far the crowns haven't rotted. They've seemed to do okay, and they're looking good and healthy. The Cattleyas, we do grow a couple more out here. Here's a few more under the table, and we'll show a couple more up closer to the house where we grow a few more. Now we've really been like trying to find hiding places for our Cattleyas. Or RLC hybrids, whatever they are. There's a, anyway. So yeah, now we have to worry about slugs because we have them on the ground and we have a massive slug problem in our garden. So that's a new, not new as far as like garden growing for us, but as far as orchid growing, dealing with like slugs, it's okay. We've been working hard with the beard traps, and anyway, the slugs are another issue that we have to worry about with outdoor growing, where we also tried to grow hidden some of the catasetums under the strawberries, which we have some that are about ready to eat. We have a couple of our Cattleyas, and the Oncidium shari baby is also hidden under here, so they get protected from rain and really harsh sun. Although in this location the sun is done by about noon, right? So they don't get really any more, but actually, so they're seem to be responding well, even with the cold and wet. It's hard to see. Where is it? Where's the new growth? There's a new growth coming out somewhere. There it is, right in between the old ones. Of course, it's growing up into the pot, so that's going to be an issue. Anyway, the little mini, this is the intermediata. Cattleya, and again the Oncidium shari baby. This one we kind of also have been. This one has been a test plant for a very long time in our apartment, and we've always kind of done exactly the opposite of what the internet says. Well, not that. That's not true, but we've always really just not treated this plant well. And it's actually rebloomed once in like the 4 years we've owned it. But don't expect it. I don't know. It's not looking too. Look at how yellow, and it's not looking so healthy out here. It doesn't like this, so we may be buying a new one because I really like the Oncidiums, and we only have that one. They're just so fragrant. They smell so nice. And again, testing the limits. So the new maxillarias, the marginata and the picta. Here, these two, the marginata is really, it's doing so. I love maxillarias. They're just so versatile. So it is putting on something. I don't know if that's probably going to be a new pseudobulb, but maybe it'll be a spike. I don't know. We'll see. We took these out of their pots just because with all the rain, we want this way we don't have to come out and drain them every day, literally. And finally we moved this Cattleya out here, or RLC. This is the Gulf Green Hair Pig. Not going to bloom for us this year, I don't think. But the temperature has finally warmed up enough for it. And yeah, it's starting to rebound. It's like the roots are continuing to grow. And then ones that we have to drain every morning because of all the rain. It's like the mother plant from the Brasidium, and then the cutting from the Brasidium, the little division we took. These guys, of course, a couple of them, I don't think many heard the story, but we did leave a couple of these guys out. We forgot them really early in the spring. They stayed outside for 2 days, completely waterlogged, water up to the top, down to, the 40s overnight and low 50s right after moving them out of the house. And now, even with the cold and the wet and very little sun, they're all still doing okay. But this guy, again, we just leave out. We don't even check it. We barely look at it, kind of just seeing what will happen I think it's gonna die, but whatever. We'll see. It's actually, like I said, it's still growing a new growth, so maybe it'll pull through and it will save. Like, I'm shivering out here. Today it's supposed to get up to, it said on the weather it's going to be about 19, so that's about 67. And so maximum over the last month, the maximum temperature has been around that 67, 68 degrees Fahrenheit. And we've had one day a week on average where it's gotten above 20. So 20 is always like that mark, right? Which 20 is like 68. Looking at my cheat sheet again. 20 is like 68 Fahrenheit. And so, yeah, it's getting a little warmer. You know, we've had 1 or 2 days up to 24 here in the garden on our little thermometer over there. Which is like 75 degrees. Yeah, we encourage you guys to try your orchids, you know, in different places. We don't really follow what you read on the internet. Of course, those are good guides, but you know, there's no teacher like experience. And honestly, you can read all the crap you want before you buy a plant. You can read all about it, but until you actually grow that plant, it's like you don't know what the flowers look like, you don't know what the plants grow like, you don't know what their actual temperature ranges are, and so that's why we like say, you know, it pays just to try growing them. That's the best thing you can do. Buy a couple. Again, if you don't have enough to test one, go online and buy one, or the next time you're at the grocery store, get another phal and be like, how long can I wait to water this one? You know, let it go for like 3 weeks. See how long it will go until the leaves wilt. If you don't care about them, like, then you know, you can just kind of like really test them freely and see what they'll take. Thanks for checking in, guys. We hope you are having a good one. Oh, the boss is coming out with cherries. Hope you're having a good one. We will see you back here at El Pilar soon.